Each individual donor-conceived person will view egg donation and the donor in their own unique way. With that being said, though, they're usually not interpreting the donor as a replacement parent necessarily.
My parents only use anonymous donors. This was done in the early 90s, so I don't even believe that known donors were an option at that point. Because I had found out that I was donor conceived so little, I don't believe that the impact of it really hit me at that age. I feel like when I was growing up, say a teenager or more of a young adult, the impact of being donor conceived did feel more grandiose then, because as I was going to doctors and as I was getting to know my friends and who I was as a person, I felt this sort of missing piece of, I don't know where my genetics are coming from. I don't know any of my medical history. I just don't know so much about myself. And coming to terms with that while also going through puberty and just growing up was really challenging. I was starting to get curious about the donors around that middle school, high school age, but because I was younger, I wasn't given any information on them. I had no idea where the genetic material had come from or even how to start looking. So I had done 23andMe in December of 2021 with the expectation of finding siblings. And then after connecting with a half sister on my egg donor side, we had combined our massive brain power and we were able to find our egg donor together. So it was myself, my twin, and our half sister. We had emailed her saying, hi, we weren't even sure, frankly. We were like, we think we might be your offspring. The fear I had when I first reached out to her was she's not going to want anything to do with us. I've heard that happen so many times, and I just feel like it's an unfortunate reality. And she's like, yep, this is me. Great to meet you. What do you want to know? Just immediately an open book, which I did really appreciate because for so long I had been confused, and so my first thought was, please tell me all your medical histories or anything I need to know about. And just her willingness to be open and receptive to the relationship as well as just the medical history. It feels great to, first of all, see who I come from and just have that comfort of seeing her like in real life, you know? It's not necessarily a maternal relationship, but I do go to her as a mentor or just as an older sort of guide who's not a parent. I would say more in a godparent kind of way. My twin, myself, our biomom are all left-handed. I believe my biomom also has a widow's peak. Both my twin and I, our half-sister, all studied French. Come to find out, our biomom is French-Canadian. We all love music, very into literature, and we all have cats. It's just like, it's funny little quirks. I feel like if she had donated with knowing what she knows now, she would have been trying to do an open donation just because she didn't know what happened with her eggs. She thought they were all going to research. And so when she found out that there were offspring, she was shocked. She only found that out because we reached out to her. Primarily, what donor conceived people want is just knowing who they are, where they come from, what their medical history is, if there's going to be any complications, where their family is so they know. It's not like if you're an open donor, they are going to replace you with the person who raised them. But that also doesn't necessarily mean that by having an open donation, that donor conceived person is going to even want a relationship to start off with. I feel like keeping it open is going to just be best moving forward because you're giving the child the option to make that connection if or when it's right for them, as opposed to either giving them no option to or only giving them a small window. I've also seen that with my siblings, there is a spectrum of relationship. Like, my twin brother has not really talked to our bio mom one-on-one yet, and that's fine. The way I communicate and the way my twin communicates, both are fine, and it's not necessarily like you need to have a relationship in a particular way. Like, any relationship is fine. If your offspring doesn't want a relationship, that should also be fine. But respecting the child as a person before thinking, oh, this isn't my kid, I don't need to worry about them.